cactus, pine tree, snow, road, clover, finishing line, and caravan. You know what I like about Nissan? They put all of the info on the window sticker.
Thanks, Nissan.
They put horsepower, they put torque, they put transmission, they put towing capacity. They put all sorts of details that a lot of other companies do not put, and I do appreciate that. Infiniti and Nissan. Is that literal burning feces?
Probably. It's probably actually steaming feces. A quick note before we get on with the rest of the video. We had a lot of discussion after filming this review and after the car already went away about why we felt so strongly about the tires that are on this car, on the Pathfinder Rock Creek. And we came to the conclusion that we may have had more of a negative experience with the car because of the temperatures in which we tested these tires. The Topher actually has the Pathfinder Rock Creek for review right now, and he went out to his driveway and knocked on the tires, and they're hard as hockey pucks. They really are a very hard compound tire. And in this colder weather that we reviewed the car in, it's likely that we had a more negative experience than some other people may have in this car, and that also the colder weather may also contribute to the rough ride that we experienced while testing this vehicle. We think that the Pathfinder Rock Creek is a great option for someone who does want to do a lot of more serious off-roading with the Pathfinder platform, but just keep in mind as you're watching the review that as a pedestrian sort of vehicle, in our experience commuting with the car and spending time with the vehicle, we didn't really appreciate the tires that are on the car. So enjoy the review, just keep that in mind as you watch and know that we do appreciate a lot of aspects of the Pathfinder. This Rock Creek edition is just maybe a little bit more hardcore than a lot of people are looking for. Do you like rocks? Do you like creeks? Well, do we have the vehicle for you? It's the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek Edition. Not to be confused with the Nissan Pathfinder Starbucks Edition. Let's go out and take a look. And there it is. And lest you get confused and wonder what kind of Pathfinder it is, it tells you right here, Rock Creek.
I quite like this.
Is this a rock with a creek going through it?
No, it's mountains.
I think
this has a very aggressive roof rack.
It does.
What is that for?
For rocking and creaking, I guess. Wow, look at those tires.
I know. That's what I said. It's a Pathfinder with louder tires.
Wait, I was going to step up there and look at the...
Oh, sorry. I was just feeling things.
Yeah, it's got 3 levels of crossbars that are not adjustable, interestingly. And then kind of some deal going on there.
Doesn't look like you get a ton of ground clearance, though.
Yeah?
No, the front end's pretty low.
Can one of us ride up here for the review and just kind of hang on?
So you should, because you have the camera.
220 pounds, you're right. That'll sound good for the viewers. This is the 2023 model, and we do like to tease about these kind of special versions, but we learned from the Subaru Forester we had that special versions of cars are good.
Yeah.
Because we appreciate variation in the industry. I'm going to pop this open, and actually, Chris hasn't... Did you say you haven't driven the new Pathfinder?
No power liftgate.
I quite like that. It feels more...
I have not, but I've driven the QX60, so...
I quite like the new Pathfinder. I think it's very good.
Branded.
So were you going to count badges on this one, too?
No.
This is the exact same apparatus as the QX60.
Wow, so weird.
Is there a good place?
You'd never know. Yeah, right there.
Okay. That's good. Look at how...
Oh, and these don't power fold.
But they are very rugged.
It's one piece, I see.
Yeah. Did you use these at all on the QX60?
No.
They're absurd because they don't stay open to put your grocery bags in them. They don't work very well. What?
Blackout panel.
Well, that's where the button would go in the QX60 to power it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way this looks.
I do too,
really like the way this looks.
We haven't showed the viewers.
It's so cool.
Yet. We should probably do that. Daily Motor, where you come for
it looks like a
reviews
concept
of the
car.
seat that you don't see.
It looks like when you go to the auto show and they have the off-roady concept, but it never actually makes it to production. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool looking thing.
You know, from the back half to the back, kind of looks like a Land Rover with that sort of C-pillar that goes up there and switches color. Yeah. Very upright.
How much ground clearance do we have?
We'd have to ask Chris that. He's the ground clearance expert. I don't know if I care much for these nostrils. They're not even functional. They're just aesthetic.
No, they're just aesthetic. Hold on, I'm getting numbers.
Okay. Also, Chris, don't you think if you're going to be doing off-roading, tow hooks would be important to you?
Yes, I would think so. Are there none?
No.
Oh, there's probably one here.
Well, that's not the same if you have to screw it in. Because if it's already buried under the water or in the mud or something like that, what are you going to get that, pop that little thing out and twist?
I suppose you'd have to.
Yeah.
7.7 inches of ground clearance with 5/8 of an inch lift.
That's less than the Subarus, but this is also a much bigger car than the Subarus.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get in the
Careful,
other
you
side?
don't want to ding this priceless Mercedes next to you.
Oh, of course not. Wouldn't dream of it. All right, this is kind of fun. I'm curious what Chris is going to think of this seat material.
Sorry.
Oh,
Fixing things in my pocket. Ooh, a console and a large all-weather mat.
I was curious what your commentary was going to be on the seat material.
Oh, it's fine. It's just cloth and leather. I mean, it feels cheap in the middle, but
I think it's kind of cool.
yeah.
Orange cross stitching, that's very adventure-y. We saw that in the Passport Trail Sport. Orange seems to be the color of adventure.
This feels like a car cover, like an outdoor car cover.
Mm.
So it's probably like
Vinyl?
waterproof.
No. I see.
Yeah.
This is nice that this is, well, this is grippy at least. This is hard. That's good.
Cup holders. There are 6 cup holders back here.
Look at this. Third zone climate control. Remember in the QX60 review when I was saying there's no point in buying the QX60 because the Pathfinder has the same features?
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's got the same steering wheel too.
Yeah. No cooled seats, but I bet you could get cooled seats in
This
the
has got to be
Pathfinder.
a pretty cheap
in the
car.
Platinum.
45 grand.
Wow.
So it's $20,000 cheaper than the QX60.
Yeah. And in some ways it's cooler.
Yeah. Black headliner.
Yes,
and no
with
moonroof.
with no sunroof.
Mhm.
But that's okay, because for adventuring you wouldn't want to roll it. And
Little vent.
Yeah, vents are good. You got handles up there for
Well,
adventuring.
touching things in here does admittedly feel cheaper. Wow! That is something.
Lest you forget, Chris,
You just look down to your right or your left if you're the passenger.
that certainly won't like wear unevenly or anything like that. You won't be seeing that on Copart in 15 years and seeing half of the. It'll just be the Ockrete.
The Ockree.
Yeah, because people's arms will have rubbed off the R and the K
Ockiway.
and the mountain there. Shall we drive it?
Yeah. Oh, I am driving first.
Yes. So you've got your 3 outside badges and oh, it's on the seats as well. That's good.
I like the seats.
Oh, it's on the floor mats as well.
Oh, that's a new key.
Hey, that is a new key. It feels cheaper than the old Nissan key.
It does, but it looks cooler.
Yeah. You
You
don't
can
want
just no, not really.
I appreciate the engine.
Sounds
on
like
this
a
car.
QX60. Same
Yeah.
bing bongs.
I feel a little constrained in here. It's a very high up situation going on. Also, a manual seat over here. That's interesting. I don't know if Alyssa would appreciate that.
You've got
Cactus mode?
cactus, pine tree, snow, road, clover, finishing line, and
Caravan.
caravan. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Hit you with the Rock Creek branded
Yeah, it's
armrest.
gonna be hard. They should have made it out of
Pretty
rock.
sweet. Yeah, they should have. Orange stitching everywhere. Door panel, steering wheel, dash.
I like having the real buttons after being in the haptic controls. That was the.
No camera, rearview mirror.
I think the Rock Creek
Charlie.
is kind of. Well, it's only 45 grand, so that's okay. There's a little storage area that's angled down very inconveniently, but at least it has a lip.
Ooh, the steering wheel is very thin.
Yeah, I remember that about the Pathfinder, actually.
It's very thin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different wheel than you get on the QX60.
Murderers' cars.
Yeah, it is the Mafia waiting right there. We've got Nicki Minaj playing. You quite like Nicki, don't you?
I do like Nicki. I'm a Nicki enthusiast.
Yeah, and that means you're a barb.
Oh, a barb.
You're a barb. That's what her fans are called.
Took that speed bump pretty well.
Yeah.
The winding road video is going to be quite dark in this car.
It is. Yeah, no sunroof and black headliner, black everything in here. Oh, it does have steering assist, so you have to test that out. It does, under first impressions, feel quite cheap in here. I mean, you know,
Also, I can
a lot
already
of
hear the
noise.
tires.
Oh my goodness, the tires are loud.
I know you were joking about that earlier, but I actually think you're going to be pretty right about it.
It has the shifter that you love from the Rogue. Auto stop start off.
What I remember about the Pathfinder, the first time I drove it, mind you, that was a Platinum, so that was quite nice inside, was that it was a very tight car.
Oh, it's got heated seats.
And I appreciated how tight everything
Oh,
felt.
like steering-wise?
Steering, throttle, chassis, everything felt very well buttoned down and put together.
It's quite a bit louder than the QX60. I gotta listen to those tires. Oh.
I'm glad you're doing the fuel economy test on this.
Well, I'm doing both of them this week.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
I can hear you slowing down. It's a bit loud in here. Also, my seat doesn't go up. No Emily's spec for this seat.
Oh, good torque.
All right, so first impressions. Obviously, the most direct competitor to this car is the Honda Passport Trail Sport, which costs about the same. Also features a 3.5 liter V6. Also features a conventional transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Upon first impression, I don't even need to ask you which you'd have, but let's come up with some observations. This feels like a cooler, like
bigger.
more futuristic interior. Yeah, you're right. This would actually compare more to the Pilot Trail Sport, but we haven't driven that car yet.
Oh, heavens. The engine's quite loud as well. There's probably lack of sound deadening.
Yeah, this might be the loudest car we've ever been in. I think my diesel truck with no exhaust pipes is quieter.
No, it's not. Well, let's try out the ride. Maybe it'll redeem itself.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the ride's going to be great. It was a bit firm, but you kind of need firmness if you're doing rock creaking.
No. Hold on, we got to go over the rough section. No, it's really not. Oh man, we're not gonna be able to hit this at 45.
Oh, you sure are. Oh, you talking about because there's a
man.
Stop.
Yeah, there's a man. Oh dear. What is he doing?
He thought this would be a good place to stop. Maybe he's putting his truck into drift mode.
Maybe.
Gauges they look kind of
yeah,
nice from here.
yeah.
Screen's a little small. I'm not a big fan of Nissan's infotainment in general in their newer cars.
No, it's not that great.
In fact, did you notice that in the QX60? I think I actually preferred the Q50's infotainment over the QX60's.
Well, it's the older one.
Yeah, I think I like the older one better.
No one's run this water bottle over yet.
You gonna do it with your Rock Creek?
I'm not.
Gonna create a creek. Can you drive up on the curb?
Yeah. You get a thumbnail.
I'm gonna take this off road and we'll get a thumbnail there.
Right now, you're gonna take it off road?
Yep.
Great.
Just in the mild section, though.
Oh, okay. Just over here.
Yeah. Nothing like pressing the P button in your rugged SUV that makes you feel really at one with...
I like this.
Yeah. Very easy, very just...
Mm-hmm.
Although that feels...
No, it feels okay.
That's good. Yeah, Nissans are usually good for that. Ooh, Chris, we are dealing with a bass audio system. Not often we get to test one of those.
I don't imagine it's going to be S tier.
No? What would make you think that?
It's a good thing this thing looks sweet.
We should start a YouTube channel where we review cars in the backseat.
We should start a YouTube channel.
Another one? Mm-hmm. We've already got
14. 5. Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I'm going to utilize racetrack mode.
Really?
Yeah, why not? Chris didn't give you any observations from behind the wheel, I will try to do some here.
I just wanted to be polite.
Steering's pretty light, kind of like that. As he said, very thin steering wheel. Is it heated at all? No.
No, it'd probably be over here if it had it. It is leather, though.
Yes. Yeah, I would imagine if this were a rubber steering wheel, you would have gotten back out and let me shoot the review on my own.
Yeah. That's a very...
I think the most complaining I've ever heard Chris is when we had a Ridgeline with a rubber steering wheel.
Yeah. Car court.
It's got paddle shifters, though. You like that. You're a paddle shifter enthusiast.
The transmission is very smooth.
Fifth. Fourth. Third. Second.
It's quick.
Yeah. This cement truck is going to be taking the same turn we need to take, so I'm going to try to overtake him. And with the V6, I can. Brake pedal feels pretty nice. Good turn in.
It's athletic.
It is. Alright, let's get back into here. What dry mode do I want for this? Mud and rut or sand? Probably mud and rut. More like mud and butt, am I right? Chris was unenthused by that joke. He wants to get out of this car. Right. So these tires are very large. Is that an appropriate way to say it?
There are a
Very
lot
chunky?
of things you could use to describe the tires.
Yes.
A lot of grip.
Mm-hmm.
And now the car's going to smell like feces.
All right, so that firm suspension is going to translate to keeping us confident off-road here. Let's check out the camera.
Wow, it smells bad over here.
Oh, you can't use it while you're moving. That's good. All right.
I'm convinced there's definitely a body in the vicinity.
It's definitely
That's
not
new.
the waste treatment plant. Yeah.
How long's that been there?
A few months. Utilizing our 7+ inches of ground clearance.
Is that literal burning feces?
Probably. It's probably actually steaming feces. This has been cleared. So now that we're going slower, can we use our camera? Oh, here, do that. That'll help. So we do have the front-facing camera here. Oh, but at 7 miles per hour, it goes away, so it's not very useful, is
That's
it?
convenient.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Oh, you wanted to get a thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
Get it right now.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult for this to get stuck. I think these tires would help you out a lot with that, and I sure hope they would, because the ride's loud enough.
Yeah. You gotta be good for something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hill descent control. Chris and
That's
I
good. You gotta have that.
Yeah, decided that that's the most important feature in an all-wheel drive car. All right, well, we will be spending the next week or so with this Pathfinder Rock Creek, and I think I'm going to have Chris drive it all week just to see if he can find reasons to fall in love with it.
Okay.
You're a Nissan enthusiast, right?
Yep.
Did you notice that this car locks and unlocks every time you come up to it?
Yes, and I had this parked in the garage at Emily's house, and there were multiple occasions where I'm like, oh crap, I forgot something in the car. And obviously when you're inside the house, you don't just walk around with car keys in your pocket. So I'd walk out to the car and it'd be locked every single time in the garage, and I'm like, ugh. So by like the third time I had to walk out to it, I was just walking around the house with the keys in my pocket. But I assume there's a way to turn that off in the screen.
Probably.
Somewhere, but yes.
I was working on my truck out back here, but this was parked in between
You
the
had the
garage
key in
and the
your
truck. So every time I walk by,
Beep,
beep.
beep, beep, beep,
Yep.
beep. Yeah.
Also, I washed this. I got it filthy and then
What?
washed it, and then this happened again.
Well, it snowed the other day when it wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Darn you for snowing when you weren't supposed
I
to.
had some peril in this car. Yeah.
I didn't, because these tires are very good for snowy roads.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're very aggressive tires.
Mhm.
Let's spend the entire second half of the review talking about the tires.
Yeah, I'm sure people would really appreciate that. Because we know from Subaru Outback Wilderness Editions videos that when we talk about that, the outdoorsiness of them, people really appreciate that.
Well, my main impression from this car was the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrapping up our week here with the, what are we in? The Pathfinder Rock Creek. How could I forget?
Yeah. Oh, you know why? It doesn't say it on the cluster.
Yeah, that's a big, or
Oversight.
like the wheel right here or something like that. Yeah. Because a BMW helps you out. They have that little M.
Yeah, so does Subaru. They put it on the cluster.
Yeah. So Nissan, if you're watching, you gotta have a little Rock Creek somewhere in the cluster there. I love this car.
No, you don't. Yeah, that's a lie.
No, there are things I do like about it, though. And I think most of the faults are that I think people will mistakenly buy this. Because a lot of the things like the Trail Sport, or that's the Honda, or the Justin Timberlake version of the Ford,
right.
or even the Subaru versions, the Wildernesses, they still function decently well as normal cars. They get slightly worse fuel economy, and they lift it up a little bit and stuff, but you can still drive them around and kind of enjoy them as normal cars. That's not the case for this. This is remarkably loud. And we're going to not talk about that all too much more, but not only is it remarkably loud, this is a $45,000 car, and you're getting a lot of bass in here. Like bass as in just basicness. There's a 6-speaker sound system. That seat does not go up and down.
Doesn't move.
And Alyssa was so pissed about it.
So was Emily.
She hated it because she could barely see out.
Yeah, Emily was upset about it too. She's like reaching down here. I'm like, don't even bother because it doesn't move.
Even you look low. Like looking over at you.
I'm fine.
You're very, but I mean, you're really low down.
Yeah, I mean, this is how I'd sit in here anyways, but yeah, there are a number of things in this car that I was happy to get away from on Thursday or whenever we swapped.
The steering wheel is way too cold. It should be heated.
Well, it's because it isn't heated, right.
Right, but it's like a cold leather, so it's just like, it just makes it worse.
Leather in general is usually,
You didn't get fantastic fuel economy.
No, it got like 22 or 23 or something. It was more so like I didn't want to go out and drive this car. Like I barely drove it while I had it because I was just like, I don't want to go out and listen to it and be cold.
Well, see, Nissan had a strategy for that.
Oh, right.
They knew that I was going to have this car for the rest of the week and the weekend, so they invited me to an event and then fed me a lot of sushi, which ended up making me sick. And so I stayed in bed with food poisoning for 48 hours and didn't have to drive the Rock Creek Pathfinder.
Neither of us drove it. You probably didn't even put gas in this thing, did you?
No.
Yeah, of course not. Did you?
Yeah.
I think, so the furthest I drove it is I drove it out to Livonia and back. That was the only trip I took in it. And it was, I don't want to be dramatic, but it was misery. Because, I mean, listen.
Yeah, it is a bit loud.
I heard through the grapevine, through an undisclosed source that works at Nissan, that they didn't.
Your buddy Eric.
Huh?
Your buddy Eric.
No, actually.
Oh. Okay.
No, and I promise that isn't who it was. And a different person I know that works at Nissan told me that they didn't put much into the NVH on this car.
You know, I actually had someone else tell me that at Nissan at the event.
You see, usually when you put a car out, that is something that you focus on.
That's a big thing. And for those of you who don't like the word Monroney, NVH stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. And
they do. You know what? You'd never know that they didn't spend time. Yeah.
This car is noisy, vibrational, and harsh.
Although the ride is shocking. I cannot believe how harsh the ride is in this thing. You think with those big, thick, all-terrain tires, it would be cushy and soft.
Right.
I think I would actually really like this in a higher trim because I have nothing against like the powertrain. I think it looks cool. All these controls and everything are fine, but the actual like Rock Creekness of this SUV is just not for me.
Well, I want to move away from that, so I'll summarize the Rock Creekness in. I could see how someone who might say want to bridge a gap between like a Jeep Wrangler and a base Pathfinder might find interest in a model like this, because maybe something like a Passport Trail Sport isn't beefy enough for them. They do want to get genuinely hardcore all-terrain tires on the car from the factory, and they want to have a little bit of ground clearance. They want to have an off-road camera that they can use below 5 miles per hour. Maybe this is the right car for them.
I bet you that the Passport Trail Sport would do everything this does. Guaranteed. Shorter wheelbase, and I bet it has more ground clearance.
Yes, but I think the traction is going to be better in this because of the tires. I mean, I drove this.
It still has all-terrains.
I drove this. Yeah, but these are obviously more aggressive. I drove this.
I think we should put it to the test.
All right. Well, we're going to request a Honda Passport Trail Sport and this. Although the Pilot Trail Sport would be more.
The Pilot Trail Sport.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But then that would kind of get rid of my whole wheelbase argument.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is this is still a 3-row vehicle at the end of the day. So. Yeah, the Trail Sport stuff is a little weird, but I also want to talk about just kind of some of the basicness of this interior.
Like the door handles?
Yeah, I don't really mind that. It's just the price that makes it a little tough.
$45,000.
$45,000.
At least this has heated seats.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of nice that the cup holder spots are pretty large. I'm not a big fan of the shifter.
I used this for my garage door opener.
I use this for my phone.
I don't know that my phone would do that.
It would fit. It'd stand right up. Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as you go anywhere, it's gonna fall.
Yeah. Okay. Dual zone automatic climate control. That's good.
Mm-hmm. It's got a touch screen.
Mm-hmm. The orange stitching is nice looking.
Mm-hmm. It's got a hazard button.
It's a cool looking car.
It is a very cool looking car. Yeah, I posted this on my Instagram story the other day, and I had a lot of people swipe up and be like, that's like a really nice looking vehicle. And I'm like, I agree. I may even think that this one looks the best out of all of the soft rotor cars.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the looks of this, but I would put it last as far as everything else goes.
Also, someone who needs to do a lot of towing might appreciate this car.
Oh, is that a
pretty stout powertrain?
Oh, how much can it tow?
Probably quite a bit. It's a good journalist answer, right?
6,000 pounds.
That's pretty good for a unibody.
You know what I like
car?
about Nissan? They put all of the info on the window sticker.
Thanks, Nissan.
They put horsepower, they put torque, they put transmission, they put towing capacity, they put all sorts of details that a lot of other companies do not put, and I do appreciate that. Infiniti and Nissan both do that.
Thanks.
So a lot of info to the consumer to see your...
Well, I know you're dying to drive this one last time.
Oh, am I driving it again?
Yeah, so I'll put you back. I do want to point out one thing I had happen this week.
Okay.
Take a look at that outside mirror.
It looks like something died on it.
Yeah, that is an apple core that I tried to throw out the window and... Boing!
Nice.
Yeah. So we do really drive these cars, folks.
Yeah. You know what? Jokes aside, us two, we probably drive these cars and live with them more realistically than anyone else does.
Yeah, and I think that's what some people do genuinely, like jokes aside, appreciate about us as reviewers.
We actually drive the cars.
I mean, look at these tires. That is properly aggressive. There's flex in there, and there's these little sipes that are going to eat up little bits of mud and snow. I mean, I drove this on Sunday morning when it was fresh snow on the roads.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that sleet snow mix. And this thing hossed. It really handled things well. I also actually really appreciate the floor mats, because I got in that side with some muddy shoes, and the floor mats really take up a lot of the area there. And stadium seating in the second row, so that's kind of cool. You kind of see over the driver. So even though this seat, you can't see anything.
Spot for your Oakleys.
Or Pit Vipers.
True.
How did you like the sound system in here?
C-.
Fair. I ended up giving it a D.
Did you give it a D?
Yeah, like a D+. Mostly because it was very clearly below average. I mean, it is. The bass sounds is right. 6 speakers.
Yeah. It was very bassy.
Yeah, that's because of this.
What is there, a bass boost setting?
100%. Why can't I access sound? Oh, because the sound is on.
Do I need to be in park?
No. See, bass enhancer.
Oh, yes. Oh, when it's on.
Well, it was. It's off.
Oh, it's off now. Yeah. Why does it say on? Oh, now it's on.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just blasting music the whole time I was driving.
Drown out the tires. It's such an ugly infotainment system.
Well, it's because we got out of the Infiniti QX60, which basically had the same system but better in every way, and then we got into this.
No, I just always think, I thought this is ugly in every single Nissan that we drive. I don't care for it. This and the Toyota system are tied for ugliest infotainments.
Oh, yeah, the Toyota. Well, the new Toyota one's good.
Yes, you're right. The new one.
Yeah, the Nissan ones are just
Garb.
bland. Well,
I'm really feeling these road bumps. This is another thing that we as journalists try to actually do pretty well. We drive the exact same route with every car. So we've driven this road hundreds of times,
Yeah.
and all sorts of different vehicles, and we could tell little bits about the cars just based on like butt feel immediately.
yeah, I mean, if they could get NVH right with this car,
It'd be okay. It's just the
it'd be
price
fine.
too that's just frustrating.
Well, yeah,
what
but
you
I mean,
get for
it would
45
excuse
is
if
not
you
great.
okay, better NVH and a heated steering wheel.
Those would go a long way, and adjustable passenger seat. Even if you could just crank it up.
You do look so low over
I
there.
know.
You look really low. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, because I really liked the Pathfinder Platinum that we had last year. I really did.
I didn't drive that.
I know.
This is the first. Yeah, bad first impressions for the Nissan Pathfinder overall. This is the first one that I've spent time in, so
Do it.
I
Roll
don't
us.
even have to run it. It's still green.
Did you use the paddle shifters at all?
You know what's back there? Pieces of the lamp. We should get those out.
Okay.
Yes, I did, but only in the winding road video. I don't think I used them. I was trying to forget I was driving this at every other time.
It's understandable.
I edited the lost red. I edited the winding road video actually last night for this car, and well, you can tell in the winding road video
How loud it is?
Oh yeah, in the binaural audio, I'm waiting, and then under D-cell, it's like whoa. It's unbelievable. Even at 18 miles an hour, you can hear the tires.
Well, this Sonic is about to launch off the speed bump.
Nah, he's just gonna use all of his brakes at the end.
Good thing he gets cheap brake pads.
Yeah. Okay, so looks cool. Is extremely loud, and is too expensive.
And pretty capable.
And capable, probably. Actually, we did take it off-roading in the intro.
And I took it more off-roading for the winding road video.
Because Charlie wanted to make it smell like poop for the first 3 days that I had it.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. It didn't smell like poop.
I took it to the hardcore off-road section, and
Did
it
you?
did pretty well.
That's brave.
So that is the Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek, or Creek, depending on which part of the country or
Some
world
people do
you're from.
say crick, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
it's
do.
Like, yeah, that's good.
It's already locked itself.
It's like roof versus roof, right?
Are those
Crick,
roof
creek.
rails or roof rails?
That's up to you to decide, I suppose. They
Rock-
are quite
the
aggressive
Rock
and they
Creek
look cool.
roof rail?
You know why I think this looks cool is because it looks like a concept car that you'd see at the auto show.
Yeah, like a SEMA build.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I think that they've gotten it so right as far as the looks go, because it isn't overdone. I think it's perfect. It's just not fun to live with.
Probably
So
look even
they
better
can-
with like a black or an orange or something.
Yeah, I like the black and white together. And I know you usually don't like black roofs on cars, do you?
Not usually.
Yeah,
Don't
but-
usually like white either. So.
Okay, well, so not your spec, but
But Chris's spec.
yeah, I like it.
Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. We are Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always, on.
That may be the best one yet, actually.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.